Hello and welcome to PolyInnovator. This is Dustin Miller, PolyInnovator, and this is the review of JoinCombo, a Twitch and YouTube streaming to clip platform. Basically being able to take your Twitch streams and turn them into TikToks, Reels, and Shorts. Now, this tool is one of many in this kind of field, this particular gaming niche for repurposing tools, but they were one of the first, and so they're one of the first I want to review when it comes to this list, and let's go ahead and check it out today. So, you can save time editing your clips, as they say. It's one of those tools that allows you to take little portions of a video and place it where you like, which I find really interesting. I'm hoping to see that more often as well. So, it even has captions, which I think is pretty unique. I think out of the 4 tools that are like this is the one that actually has captions. You can do your little face cam as well as your gameplay in the background, and you can see here on the little timeline the different points, part of the clips, which we'll talk about later when it comes to the timeline. Now, this tool itself has a lot going for it, and there's actually some features coming out that we'll talk about later that I'm pretty excited about, but for the most part, let's just talk about what it is right now. Dustin Miller, PolyInnovator. And we're back. So this is the dashboard you'll come and see whenever you first find this. Now, quick little side note. I don't know what's going on with OBS, but I had to re-record this video, and so I had already done this entire portion. Now I got to do it again. So if I go a little bit fast, I hope I don't mess up just because I'm rushing things. I'm not trying to. Now, when it comes to this particular screen here, one little nitpicky thing that I find annoying is that it starts off with this imported section when all of my videos are on the uploaded. I just wish I had access to it. I actually freaked out one day. I was like, where did all my videos go? It's because they're behind the uploaded portion. I don't know if there should be like a setting here or maybe auto detects whether or not there's clips in either one. That would be helpful. If you want to upload a video here, you can go ahead and put it through here. So one thing to note, on the free plan, you only get 100 megabytes per second. Not per second, 100 megabytes total per video, and that can be a big of a deal breaker because most videos, it seems like, are well more than that, at least double that. And all my clips are generally 30-60 seconds long, generally 1080p, which means that they're going to be way too big for the free plan, which is why I had to pay for it. That's something we'll talk about later when it comes to the pricing page. One else thing you can do is take a clip, whether it's from Twitch or YouTube, and just share the link here and automatically import it for you. Let's go ahead and pick a video here. I'm going to go ahead and pick my State of Decay one. Going into the templates, you have all these free ones up here that come with the system. They're pretty good. I mean, not necessarily the greatest because it's just the same kind of format for all of them anyways, but one thing I really like to do is take the baseline and modify it for whatever game I'm using. So I took this face cam one and made it into my State of Decay one. So a cool thing about this State of Decay one is that it already had this like circular HUD, so my health and stamina were already alongside the minimap, and so I was able to just put that where the face cam would be, and that ended up being a great option for doing this particular template. And I actually have the same video going twice. I have the main formatted, like I want to see the content in the middle, and then I have it stretched out to fill in the blank parts of the screen to make it all blurry, all of which you can do in this tool. So if I click the background here, you can choose whether or not it's blurred and that kind of thing. Now, you'll notice down here in the timeline, there's a lot of different things going on, and the more stuff you have on here, the more stuff's going to be going on. So right down here is an image, or actually not this. Right here is an image, which is my logo. Whenever I create my content, I wanted to have my PolyInnovator gaming logo there. Not all tools let you do that, so that's a pretty big deal. I want to have my branding. One thing I should probably mention too is being able to import a video. So perhaps if I wanted to import my outro, I can put that at the end as well. Now, one thing I should note is that sometimes with this timeline snapping, it can get really annoying too. So where you want to put it, as you can see, it goes behind everything else when I was just trying to put it back. Like I can't even, okay, there we go. But that's something that I wanted to mention, that it can be really difficult sometimes if you're trying to snap it. And I don't see a button here to turn off snapping. So it's one of those things where editing that could be a little bit tedious. But being able to make something that looks so great is awesome. You just click export, takes you to a page where it renders, and then you can share it to Shorts, TikToks, and Reels. Let's go back and look at all the other stuff I can show you. You have your templates here where you're saved. So let's say I have my State of Decay one, but I start playing Breath of the Wild. I want to have a certain layout for that. Apex, another layout for that. And you can save different templates for different games. And then all you have to do is click that template, and it'll automatically take that same placement on that screen and automatically apply it, which can basically save you a ton of time if you're just doing a ton of clips from the same game, which is what I was trying to do with Apex, and we'll get to that a little bit later as well. Inbox, this is where all your final result videos will be, so if you end up clicking this, you can see the final result that you made. I didn't mention this in the timeline in the last particular section here, but these little texts here is something that I made. There is auto captions depending on what game you're playing. That might be pretty useful, or maybe if you're trying to do a podcast, but I ended up just doing regular text to explain what's going on or exclaim certain things. Like during this clip, I literally took this clip of Peggle purely because it was just ridiculous at what was going on. Just the different angles that I was hitting. You can look at it on my gaming channel, but it was just one of those things where adding that text at certain moments basically made the video. Without the text, it made the video way too boring, and so it's just super helpful. Next thing I wanted to talk about, just the site itself. When you come through here, it's pretty helpful. It gives you all the information you might need. It has a lot of resources. I remember when I first came across this tool, I spent a ton of time reading through their blog, and I actually enjoyed quite a bit of their content, so tip of the hat to the team for that. And then one thing I want to kind of go over is actually this really interesting feature that I don't have access to yet, so I can't show it to you. But I tried reaching out, and I tried signing up for the waitlist a couple times, and so I don't have access to it yet. So maybe I should make a video down the line once I do, so I can show you what it is, because it's very interesting. These workflows really remind me that of Zapier or Repurposed.io, setting up these automations that happen. So first off, a new video is uploaded, presumably a short, right? Or maybe no, maybe it's just a clip or something like that. Automatically imported to Combo. Apply a portrait layout, add captions, send it to TikTok, and I presume it continues afterwards. Send it to Reels, send it to Shorts too, because if it's an upload, it's probably a regular size video. And so I'm not sure exactly how they're going to handle too big of videos. Like if someone's uploading a 15-minute video, that wouldn't necessarily work with the tool, but perhaps we'll see something down the line. So define actions. I don't know. I find that this would be a really interesting feature, and I'm curious to see where it ends up. Now let's talk about pricing. This is something that I think changed over the past year or so, because from what I recall, it was only two pricing. You had the free and then the $12 plan. I ended up having to go with this, and it sucks because I wasn't able to really do what I needed to do, but we'll talk about that in a second. I honestly think that $6 a month is pretty valuable for a lot of people. 75 videos is probably way more than anybody who's going to need, but it's certainly a lot more. Like, we need more than 15 half the time if you're going to be making these clips. Generally, a lot of people like me who are a little bit not as rich, I guess you could say, won't be able to use the tool consistently every month, and not unless you're doing tons of Twitch streams every week or something like that, you're not going to need to per se. But being able to come in, do a whole bunch of batching, and then coming back a couple months later and do it again, I think that's really ideal for a lot of people. But if you are a prolific streamer, then probably doing something every month would be helpful. One thing to note is the file size. So I had to go with a paid plan. I think I went with Creator. I did go with Creator because I paid $12. It's because all my videos are around 200 megabytes, and so I had to be able to, in order to use the tool. And other tools limit you to like a 720 export for the free plan, and 1080p is definitely bare minimum. You shouldn't do anything less than that at this point in time, unless you just don't have the storage for it, in which case I guess 720 is going to be what you can only do. But there's not many feature differences between the different plans besides just the sizes, and there are access to early features, but even when I was on the plan, I didn't have access, so I don't know per se exactly what they're sharing there. The Discord was pretty helpful as far as I was able to get some support when I needed it. Now, other than that, I don't really have much to share, except for the fact that I ended up having to go to a different tool. What I mean by that is, at one point, I tried uploading my video, and it ended up being at the wrong aspect ratio. So my screen is 21:9, it's an ultra-wide display, meaning all my clips that I'm going to be saving are also ultra-wide. Now, this tool is literally made for taking clips, taking portions of the clip, and highlighting those certain sections to put on a vertical video. You would think that it wouldn't matter if it's ultra wide or 16:9, and considering all the other competitors can do it too, I don't know. I talked to the team, they were very nice about it, but they were saying, yes, we can't support ultra wide, at least not for a long time. So it was one of those things where I had 150 Apex clips just sitting there, and around 150 at least. That was a ton of clips that I couldn't have access to. I was able to use it for State of Decay and some of my other games that you saw with like Pokemon. If I had like other clips that were just saved on my Xbox or Switch, I was able to use Combo for those. But since all my computer clips, which were a majority of them, were not able to use through it, I actually had to go to a competitor to do that same service. That is just something that's part of my experience that I wanted to share. It was important, but I digress. I encourage you to come check out JoinCombo. They were one of the first on the field, and so they're one of the first I'm reviewing as well. They're a strong tool. The automations are going to put them into a different level, I think, if it's done right. So I'm excited for that. Link will be in the description. Cheers. Bye-bye.